So, but I thought, you know what, this is kind of a good case study to kind of take people through about how to determine if what the property you're looking at is going to make a good Airbnb. So I have to be honest with you, I had to look up Winters, Texas, because I didn't know where that was. So now,
Okay.
have you already bought the property?
I got it on the contract. I haven't paid for it yet.
Okay, all right. Because I looked it up and I was able to see a picture of it. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through how I determine if the property I'm looking at, if this is a good exit strategy, right? So it doesn't mean you shouldn't buy it, but is this going to be the right exit strategy? So I'm going to share my screen. Now I'm quite challenged when it comes to all things techno. So, okay, first of all, can you see my screen there?
I can.
Okay,
Sure.
so what we're going to do is go through here, close some of these things. So the very first thing I did is I went on Airbnb as a guest because I want to see what the competition is, right? So first I had to figure out winners, and I did go through and like see what kind of tourism there is. I looked at the demographics. So there's about, I don't know, 2,500 people there. So it's a tiny little town. So the number one thing of the 10 identifiers is the location, like what is going to attract people there on an ongoing basis. So if I go to Airbnb first, and what I'm doing is I'm really kind of looking at, well, are there other Airbnbs there? So I'm on my profile. You can see it says switch to hosting, which I don't want to do that because I want to be a guest. So can you see this screen okay?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
so I went to Winters, Texas, and I said, okay, I'm flexible on my dates because, you know, I want to see kind of what's available. And then I saw that it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. So I'm just going to say probably the max that you would get into that is, let's just say 4, right? Because you have a bedroom and maybe you have a pull-out couch or something like that. And then, so we're going to say search. And then what happens is all these, you know, this is your competition. Okay. Now, when you go over here to, and then there's 2 things that this is going to tell you. Number one, who's your competition? And as far as like houses and room shares and what they're charging, and are they pet friendly and do they have the amenities? So you can kind of see across the top here. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, I only want to see the entire place. I don't care about private rooms because that's, you know, because you have a whole house that you're going to be, you're wanting to do. So we're not going to do a hotel room. So I'm just going to save that. And now I'm going to see what comes up. So you can see there's like, okay, here's a whole house. And it says it's in Winters. This one, so you can kind of go see. So 89, 189, but then you can click on the pictures to see what kind of property it is, right? Because then that's going to give you an idea of how much rehab you're going to have to do, because that house looks pretty rough, right? Am I right about that? It's pretty rough.
Yeah, the house actually is someone started the rehab and they didn't finish, so it needs a lot of work.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So then you kind of see this one, you know, this is like, I mean, they didn't go crazy here or anything, and they're getting about $89 a night, right? So that's just one way. Now, the other thing that I want to look at is I want to look at this map. So there's like about 3 steps you have to take when you're going to look at all of this. So you can see this map. And so what I want to find, here's Abilene, right? And Winters didn't really show up when I was doing this before. I might not found Wingate, but I do know that it was right down the road from, and you might know this area better than I do, because as you scroll in, okay, these numbers here are all the people that have air. Look at that. Now this is more getting up into Abilene, but Winters is only what, about 40 miles from Abilene?
About an hour, yeah.
Yeah, this is your competition, and there's a lot of Airbnbs in that area. Now, when you get down to, I think it was Potosi here. Okay, so is that how you say that, Potosi? So Potosi, when I looked on the Google Maps, if you follow down to Potosi, Winters is about somewhere in here. So I didn't find any Airbnbs except that one in Winters. But you have a lot of other Airbnbs that are within, you know, a short driving distance from where you want to be. So right off the top, personally, I don't think the property you have under contract would make a good Airbnb because there's so much competition. I mean, depending on what you pay for this house and I mean, if you can rent it for $50 a night and that's what you want to do, but you can see like they start out at 150 and they went down to 115. And this is for a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. So let's just go in here and we can actually go, okay, let me give some more. Okay, I want the entire place, save. And I'm guessing you'll have Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Here's filters. Okay, so we know that you're going to have at least 2 bedrooms. So the house has 2 bedrooms, yes?
2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
Oh, it's 3 bedrooms. Okay,
Yes,
it looked
3 bedrooms.
because on the pictures I
Yes,
saw, it said it was
yes.
like 900 square feet. So are you
No,
sure?
but it's been added. It's been added.
Okay, so 3 bedrooms.
2 bath.
Oh, so okay, so it could do 6 beds, right? Because let's just say 2 beds per beds per room, right? So you could sleep 6 people.
6 or 8, yeah, because you got a sleeper.
Actually, let's go down like this. Let's do 3 beds, but one bed, maybe you'll put twins. So you have master, queen, 1, 2, 3. No, it's still only 4, right? Yeah, it's only 4. Okay, and then the bedrooms is 3. You know what? Yeah. I'm sorry. And then bath is 2 or 1?
2.
Okay. And then let's see. These are just things, okay, like I'm going, okay, I'm like a guest, okay? I'm a guest. Okay, so based on those criteria, it's showing me 25 stays, and I didn't even put pet friendly because I can tell you if you make your Airbnb pet friendly, not very many people do that on Airbnb, and so it's kind of an advantage. Okay, so now we moved up to 3 bedroom okay, this is in Abilene, ACU. I'm guessing that's Abilene Christian University, Abilene. So nothing's really coming up in winters. You know what I'm saying? So it looks like a lot of your competition is going to be in Abilene, but you can see what people are, it's about $100. Like here's okay, this is a historic, near downtown. So that wouldn't even be something that you would be competing with. So you would probably get, I'm guessing just looking at these numbers, probably about 100, maybe 150 a night if nobody else was booked. Does that make sense? So that's as a guess. Now, I will tell you that the other thing, so that's one. So now we're collecting more info. So we know that we have a lot of competition. I mean, we know that.
Okay,
right?
Nancy, let me ask you this. So having a lot of competition is good or bad?
Well, do you see how the prices are? It depends on how much money you want to make from it and what your holding costs are. So
let me tell you specifically about this property.
What?
Sorry. Let me tell you specifically about this property. The investment on this property, I bought it for really cheap. It's $20,000 I'm paying for the property, and it's gonna need a $35,000 rehab. So basically, my investment is gonna be, once everything is set up, let's say I'm gonna invest $70,000. So the investment is not that much. Do you think that we can still get work?
Okay, so here's another number you guys need to put together. What is the monthly holding cost? So because you got to furnish it, right? So you're going to probably spend about $5,000 or $10,000 furnishing it, and you want to make it, there's like, I don't know if your wife's a decorator, but because you have competition, what you'd want to do is go in and look at some of these Airbnbs and what can you do to make yours stand out? Once you get it done, you get professional photos and whatnot. So then you look at, okay, what is it going to cost me every month with taxes, property insurance, utilities to hold the property? So let's just say that number is, I don't know, $1,500. It might not be that much, right? But let's just say it's 50. Oh, you're not going to have a mortgage on it, so there won't be anything, right? Because that house will be paid for. Oh, so your holding cost might, let's just call it 500, right? With utilities and
maximum 500, taxes, insurance, and say if we buy the furniture with a credit card, let's say maximum $700 a month.
Okay, let's say $700 a month. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, so with knowing that number, then let's go over to AirDNA, which is where you find out how much you could charge. And I tried this before, and what happened was, I don't know if it's because there's none in there. This has never happened before, where I go through Bigger Pockets. I'm a member of Bigger Pockets. Let's see, go. And so they have all these tools that I use. So I go to Airbnb, and it says, see how much you can earn. And so I put in the street address. Whoops. 612 West Parsonage, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Parsonage.
okay, so it's right there. It pops up, and let's see if it'll do it this time. Now,
Big pocket.
it wouldn't load it. It wouldn't, like, so I don't know if there's no data there. Or what the deal was. So then let's try just to go straight to there. And I've never had that happen before where it didn't give me any info about the property. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really sure what that was about. And what we might do is go to Evolve. I use Evolve, and maybe we'll put it in there. Okay, so let's just see if we can do it here.
West Parsonage.
Okay, let's see what happens. And I might take out the, you know what? Let's do this first.
Is it because it's in a rural area?
I don't know if it's because it's so tiny or, oh, you know what? Hold on, let me look.
I think, oh,
Here, let me, okay, I'm into my account now. Let's just see if we can get it to go. And it could be there, you know, it could be there. Okay, come on.
so Nancy, this is all the step that we need to do every time we want to see if the property work for
Yeah.
Airbnb. What you telling me right now?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, ask her. My
Yeah,
wife
go ahead
wants
and
to
ask
ask
me.
Okay, but this is regarding like a totally different property. So let's finish with this one, and then I
Okay,
guess at the
okay,
end
okay.
we can ask.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. It doesn't.
It's not.
Percentage. And do you know what the zip code is there?
I can find out for you.
Okay. Yeah, let's put the zip code in.
Zip code 79567.
Okay. Come on. What was it again? Here, let me write it down so I don't have to keep asking. What was it again?
79567.
67. Okay. All right. 79567. Okay. 79567. Tab. See, I think it's just not, I just don't think there's any data for that area, but it's because it's just not coming up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why that's why you kind of have to go off of what, because I've never had that happen before where you can't get the info. Now, let's do one more thing. They might call you, but if you don't mind, so I use Evolve Property Management, and if you decide to go with them, all they do is market the property. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do, and because I was a property manager, they would, you know, I had to kind of fight with them about how I wanted them to take the property. But let's see if they have any data, because they pull from the same place. Okay, we're going to say nobody. And I'm gonna say yes, because there's a hospital there, because you could also do, okay, 6112 West Parsonage Street, Texas. Next. Okay, so we're just gonna put in your contact info here. And we'll just put my info in here. They won't know. But if you want to talk to them, I have a contact that I would refer you to, just because we would both get like a referral fee. So.
Gotcha. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what they say. Now they're going to be pulling the same data from, oh, looks like you have qualified. Now schedule a call. Okay, that's not what we wanted to do. Okay, yeah, they just want your business, so that's not going to really work out. Okay, that's not, so they'll just call me. Yeah, so I can't get this to work for the AirDNA, and I don't know if it's because of their website. So that would be my only thing, is that yes, you could do it. Your holding costs, like even if you rented it for $100 a night, you'd only have to do 7 nights. You know, you're going to have a cleaner, but so let's say you could rent it for 10 nights a month, you know, over the course of the year, and it would pay for itself. Now, would it be better to do an owner finance, you know, because then you wouldn't have to have all the costs. So just know, if you do an Airbnb, the good thing is, if you do an Airbnb and you just try it, it doesn't work out, it can always be a rental, or you can do an owner finance, or you can flip it or whatever, right? So I think the 2 things that I see that might be a challenge is, one, the location. Like there are some stuff, and they have about 2 or 3 festivals a year, but you have a lot of competition. So, you know, you're probably not going to be able to charge like $200. Now, was there a military base around there as well?
I'm not sure. Winter, I don't remember.
Okay. The other thing that I did is I went to Expedia, because I just tried to say, okay, what, like, you're trying to find out like the tourism, right? So
Correct.
I said Expedia, okay, let's find out how many hotels are in that area. So you go to Winters.
It's a ghost town.
Yeah, it's a ghost town. And I think that's what you have to realize is, like, why would people come there? You know, I mean, if you're going to do something really cool with the house, yay, you know what I mean? And let's just say I'm going to go here, I don't know, some weird weekend that it should be open, right? Let's see, we'll go the 15th through
The love day, the love day.
the love day. Well, yeah, but I want to kind of do dates that people wouldn't be booked, so we can see. But even if you do a search for hotels, you know, I mean, here's a secluded cabin. It's a 2-bedroom, and it says it's 19 miles from Winters. You know, here's another one that's 18 miles from Winters, 25 miles from Winters. So I don't know that there's any, have you even driven around the town to see if there are any hotels? I don't think, it's so small.
No, there's no hotel. The only,
Yeah.
the only thing I see is,
then you have to ask yourself, what would make somebody want to come to Winters, Texas to stay? I mean, would you guys do that?
yeah. So what I did, the reason why I think is because the lake is a lake in there, and there's a lot of hunting on the area.
Okay, so
The lake is 1 mile from there.
the lake
address.
is 1 mile. Okay,
Mhm.
so you could try to advertise it to hunters, to you know, fishermen. Is it a fishing lake?
It is I think it's a fishing lake. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's a fishing lake.
Okay, and then there's no HOA, correct?
No, there's no HOA at all.
Okay, so I would just find out about the lake and what, you know, how many people, do you know what the name of the lake is?
I can tell you right now.
Okay, and let's just do a little Google search on that lake. Lake.
It calls Lake Winters.
Oh, well, there you go. Lake Winters. And then I'm typing in Lake Winters activities. Oh, okay. Well, so they do skiing. Is that winter at Lake Tahoe?
I wish can be there.
Right? How funny. Okay. Fishing, Winters, Elm, Creek Reservoir. It's a reservoir. Okay.
So she looks like everything that is possible.
Okay, so you know, like yeah, I don't know if it's a huge fishing lake. And I'm not a big fisher one. Let's see, public access. How do you get to it? So here's a little map that shows you. So do you know where your property is because here's the only access there is to the lake, it looks like. So depending on where your property is, like if your property was clear over here, you know what I'm saying? So I would kind of like maybe overlay, let's see what we can do here. Because it doesn't look like a very big lake. Looks like a river, kind of Lake Winters. So, I mean, you know what? It's probably a toss up. I'm saying, here's what I'm saying that's probably against it. Location. Now there's not a lot. So if somebody was specifically wanting to go to Winters, Texas, then yours would come up, right? But you just have to realize that those other properties are, you know, going to be your competition. And, you know, based on what I saw, you're probably, you know, I don't know if you could get $100 a night on a regular basis. So I would say, if it were me personally, I wouldn't do it, but I don't know the area. And it seems like other exit strategies would be better for you. Like, what would you do with that house if it wasn't an Airbnb?
Owner finance?
Owner finance, yeah. I mean,
because there's not too many houses in there. There's like few houses. So if I put in the market for sale, it's gonna take forever to. I think all the people that lives in there, they go to work to Abilene, Texas.
Okay, so well, maybe this is not even a house you want to buy. Did you think about that?
Yeah, I really don't want to buy it for a flip or I really don't. The only
okay, well, so then yeah, because that's why I asked you if you already bought it. So if it was me,
I got on the contract, but I can always get off the contract.
Yeah. So if it was me, I would pass because I just don't see the return on investment, you know, and if you don't think you can even own or finance it and you can't rent it, then because where do you guys live up here, right?
I live in Houston.
Yeah, I would say, I'm sorry, it's a pass.
Okay.
So if you brought that deal to me, I would pass. So
good enough.
All right, there you go. All right, next property. Or you had a question?
I just have a quick question. So we're gonna we just purchased a tiny beach house. How many square foot is it?
690 square feet house.
Now we're talking beach house. Okay, I like it.
So I'm kind of debating. He wants to do bunk beds in both. It's just two bedrooms. So we're debating if we want to put one bed or we want to put what are they called?
Bunk beds.
If we want to put bunk beds in both of the rooms.
So we can fit more people because right now it's only 2 beds.
Okay, so if it were me, if I was going on vacation, I don't want to sleep in a bunk bed, right? So you got to think about what the parents would do. And on bunk beds, I don't know how big the bedrooms are. So we had on our lake house.
Really small.
Really small. You know, here's what I would do. I would go with 2 queen beds and a pull-out couch.
1 feet, 2 queen beds.
Oh, okay.
So maybe 2 twins.
So we had another beach house, right?
Yeah.
And what I did is I built a bunk beds really it's a full size on the bottom and
the twin on top
on the upper side.
Yeah,
right?
so just make sure that they're I'm not a fan, the personal opinion, but yes, if you have tiny, I would put bunk beds. I would probably put so the other bedroom won't even accommodate a queen bed.
You can put a queen bed, but there's not going to be enough space for 2 beds at all. Even if you put it like a 2 twin beds won't fit in there.
Okay, so can you in one bedroom can you put 1 queen bed, and the other bedroom can you put the queen with the bunk bed on top?
A bunk bed, yes, of course we can. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I would do. Just as somebody that, you know, like if I was, you know, because you got to think about the parents. And you know, they don't usually want to sleep in a bunk bed, right? Because then right? Okay, so I would do 1 bedroom with 1 queen bed, or the biggest bed you can get in there, because you can also go full size, right? You know, there's queen, and then there's the full, and then there's the twin. But yeah, so do the queen bed with the bunk bed on top, or a full bed. You know, there's the bunk beds that have the full on the bottom and the twin on the top. I'd probably do that to give you a little bit room. And then here's a little tip. I don't put dressers. I might put, if I have room and I got a dresser for cheap, you know, I have them. I usually have 1 or 2 nightstands, depending on how big the room is. If the room is big enough, I do 2 nightstands, and I buy luggage racks.
Luggage rack.
Okay.
You know, and you can get them from Amazon. And those are really nice because they can either go into the closet, and when I, you know, so yeah, so then they have some place to put their bags, and you don't have to get dressers. So we don't have, I have in a 4-bedroom, I have 1 room with a dresser. All of them have nightstands, and then my husband actually makes because nightstands are expensive if you don't buy the whole bedroom suite. So he makes them out of crates, you know, like that you can buy at Home Depot, or so he's made them. And then we go to like thrift stores, or, you know, Habitat for Humanity, and I'll refurnish them or whatnot. So but yeah, in the living room, I would do like a
sleeping sofa.
A sleeping sofa. Yeah. Now, you know, another idea you could do in that room, so one of the bedrooms, you could get regular bunk beds, 2 twins, and a futon.
A futon is like a
couch, but it's and you can get them in full size. So if there's enough room to pull that out, that would actually give you 4 sleeping things in 1 bedroom. I mean, it's just like you kind of have to play with the room and see if that'll work.
So my idea to place 2 bunk beds on 1 bunk bed on each room is so I can fit 8 people, because I know if I can fit 8 people, if I can fit 8 people on the house.
Well, how many bathrooms does this house have? Oh, no, you don't want to put 8 people for 1 bathroom. You'll get bad reviews. And is it on a septic system?
No,
you don't really want to cram 8 people into that small of a property, because you're going to have complaints about, I mean, just think about that. If somebody came and they had 4 kids, that's 6 people and 1 bathroom, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
You know, just because, you know, you're not going to make that much more money on the number of people, right? Because if you have a family of 8 and they see there's only 1 bathroom, they're probably not going to book your place.
So the property, so on that particular area, so on Surfside Beach in Freeport.
Yeah.
So we had that. I don't know if I mentioned to you that we had another beach house in there, and we use a property management on the area. So she suggests me to feed 8 people on the house, but I think it's too much. I think it is too much.
Did it book with 8 people?
No, well, I'm in the process to buy the house right now.
Okay, because the other thing is, if you put 8 people, is there 8 people for 8? So let's say you are able to seat 8 people, sleep 8 people. Is there a place for 8 people to eat?
Yeah, there is enough. The dining room is pretty long.
So you could get 8 people around a table?
Yes.
Is there enough seating for 8 people in the living room?
It is, yes.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, you could always, the worst case scenario is you can always go down. So it's kind of a personal preference. I would be careful about the property manager, because she's not the one that's having the wear and tear on the 1 bathroom. And so, you know, common sense says, would 8 people really want to have 1 bathroom?